Okay, so today's topic, it's called divs. So basically your website is, let me open any website. Your website is divided into different sections. So for example, let me open this Facebook, the first website we opened. Okay, when we were discussing about the websites. Okay, so this is our first website. So any website, any kind of websites is always divided into certain sections. Okay, so basically there are like groups. Everything in a website is, enclosed inside a container. Is that clear up until this point, that everything in a website is a container? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So how would you figure out if something is a container or something is not a container? How would you figure it out? Can you guess? Let me open a browser that has, wait, okay, just let me open Facebook here. Okay, how would you figure out if something is a container? You have to visualize it. Okay, you have to visualize that what can be something that could be a container. This is shortcut for that. This is shortcut for remembering when you have a container and when you don't have a container. Okay, so whenever you see two things aligning side by side, like aligning beside each other, you have a container enclosing those things. For example, can you tell me, do we have a container for these two? Are these two aligning side by side?
Yeah.
Yeah, if these two are aligning side by side, so that means that we have a container that is enclosing them. Okay, this is the first shortcut to remembering when you have a container or not. Okay, the first thing is, if you have two elements that are aligned side by side, that means that those two things or three things or four things are enclosed in a container. Okay, the second shortcut for remembering when you have a container, when you don't, is basically, if you can visualize a group of elements, then they are enclosed in a container. So can you tell me here, can you visualize a group here? Is there any group here or here? Can you take a guess?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think, which of these are a group? So is this Facebook, the word Facebook, and this paragraph, are these a group or not? What do you think? Are these a group or
Yeah.
not? So yeah, these are a group, so that means that they are enclosed inside a container. Okay, they have a single parent container that they are enclosed in. What about here? Do we have anything like here?
Yeah.
Which one?
The whole thing.
Exactly. This your home, and this paragraph. They are part of the same group, so that's why they are the container. Okay, so this is your layout for the Facebook. You have a main container, and then inside that main container you have two containers. Okay, the left one and the right one. So this is the theoretical part. I'm gonna do it again for like 3 or 4 websites, because it's really important. This part is really important. Okay, let's do it for, maybe let's say, Instagram. Yeah. Okay, I need you to visualize. What do you think? Where is my Instagram? Is it vanished? Oh, we have a problem here. Okay, so I need you to visualize, and I'm gonna draw it in Paint. Okay, so what do you think? Where do we have the container? The first thing is, if you see something that is side by side, we have a container.
The pictures.
First you have to move in a hierarchy. You have to first visualize the bigger picture. So are these, yeah, the whole, you have to look at the whole picture. So these pictures, all of this and this, are they side by side? So what do we have to do? Yeah, we have to put them in a container. So this is our first. This is how we are going to start recording. First, we have to put the container. So inside the container, how many containers, more containers do you think we have? Two. Very good. Very good. Exactly. We have two containers. We have one on the left side and one on the right side. But how would you judge that you have two containers or three containers or I don't know how many? How would you judge? You would judge. Very good. Exactly my point. You have to judge based upon these spaces. These spaces are going to tell you whether they are different containers or they are the part of the same container. Okay, so that you have to look at the spaces. So that's really good, really good. You have two containers, one on the left side and the other on the right side. So how many containers do we have inside the left container? What do you think? The left container. Exactly. We have three containers. One for the previous image, one for the image on the in the center, and one for the right one. What about the right one? I want you to look at the spaces. Okay, you have to judge based on the spaces. Eight, two. Okay, we have eight and we have two. That four. Okay, we have 8, 2, and 4. So I think the one who said, I think Mr. Adil has said 8 because you see 8 things here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I guess 8. Okay, so you don't have to, actually see the elements, you have to make the groups out of all of these elements. So do you think this picture is the group of, is the part of this group, or is it separate? Exactly, good. It's separate. Why is that? Because we have this space here. Yes? So this is a different container. So this image is a different container. What about these? Exactly, very good. That's one. Why? Because the spaces between this and this, like the difference is really great. So these can be different containers. They are the part of the same container. So I guess up until at this login button we have the same container. Yeah. So what about this? Is it a separate container or it's in the group with someone? Exactly. Yeah, separate. How did you judge that? Yeah, good. The space. This space. This topic is really important. I want you to, I'm just repeating it again. If you don't get it, you have to stop me right there. Okay. Currently, we're just going over the theoretical part, but soon we're gonna go into the coding. But the same theoretical part is gonna be used in the coding as well. Okay. So I want you to, get the theory first. What about this? These two are these part of the same group or are they different? Same, yeah. Very good. Why? Because this space and this space is greater than the space between them. Okay, so they're the part of the same container. Yes. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's separate. It's exactly very good question. The space between these, yeah, the space between them and the space between this, is it same or is it different? Yeah, exactly. If this space and this space were to be the same, then these would be considered different. Yeah, it's totally different. It doesn't have anything to do with the above group and the group between them. Okay, so basically this is all just visualization. You have to visualize. Every person has a different visualization, but the better you visualize, the better is the code going to be. Okay, so different visualization can be converted into code, but the better visualization is going to get your code to be more responsive. Now what is responsiveness, we're going to discuss it again in the later classes, but for the time being I just want you to get the theoretical part. So what about this? Is this and this are part of the same container or different? Yeah, different. Good. So this is the part of the different. What about these three? Yeah, good. Together. They were the part of the same group. Very good. So this is the layout for Instagram. Okay, what you see here, the boxes, these boxes are really important when it comes to putting your layout together. So this is the part. This is for the Instagram. Now we're gonna move towards something you can say really difficult. Well, no, it's not really difficult, but it is going to be, wait. Let me go to the home page.
Are you tired of seeing
Where is
applications
my
with
home page?
dull,
Wait.
forgettable interfaces that look like they were designed in a
Yeah,
corporate
wait.
cubicle in 2005?
Okay, so this history doesn't belong to me. My brother uses. Okay, this YouTube. Okay, so what I want you to know, I want you guys to take a paper and pen, and I want you to draw the, you can say, draw the squares, draw the boxes you can see on the screen. You have like maybe take 2 minutes and draw what
What
you see.
screen?
Okay, three. Take 3 minutes and visualize whatever you are seeing on the screen. How many divs?
Wait,
Yeah,
the one that you're showing us, this YouTube one?
yeah. This is the YouTube one.
Okay.
Okay, I want you to just visualize that where are the containers, how do we place the containers, and how many containers do we have. Okay, just take 3 minutes and send in your group, in your WhatsApp group, and then we'll draw it here in the class as well. This is really important. Okay, I need you to pay close attention and then draw everything.
Go there from outside.
Sorry.
No, sorry, that was for a deal.
Okay. And do pay close attention to the spaces between the elements. Spaces are really critical. Are you guys getting here?
Um, we have to write the answer in the group.
Yeah. Just send the picture in the group.
Oh, we have to take a picture of our work.
Yeah. I need to I need to see what you guys visualize.
This one's tricky.
Yeah, that's why I've given you as this as a task.
Okay, I just need a couple of minutes to draw the layout.
So how much? I guess maybe 2 minutes would be good. So
Okay.
it's 12:49 with me at the moment. So at 12:51, yeah, okay.
Okay.
Wheels up. We have the navbar, good, the sidebar, main container. Yeah, yeah, it's almost the same. Good, wheels up. Zabardast.
I think I tried my best.
Great. So we have the sidebar, yeah, and this the group. Yeah. Okay, so it's almost correct. But the first thing we discussed about the diffs is if you see something that is aligned side by side, it's ought to have a parent.
Wait,
It's going to be enclosed in a parent. We're gonna draw it right here. So other than that, it's totally it's almost good. Yeah, it's good. Okay, we have the nav bar, we have the music gaming, we have the banner, we have the side one. Yeah, Miss Nimra is like, yeah, it's done. Yeah, you have to draw
I
the
forgot the side one, right?
yeah, you have to draw the side ones, plus you have to draw the inner parts as well. Okay, so let us draw it in class. Okay, so we're gonna open the paint. Okay, first of all, everything is enclosed in the body. So yeah, so body is going to be the main container. So the body is also the container. Okay, so who should it? I guess it's Miss Marian. Okay, we have the top. Okay, we have the sidebar. We have the main container. We have, yeah, it's good. It's good. But you have to, you guys have to go into the depths now, because we are now moving towards the actual websites. So you have to get in more depth. Okay, this is the main part. Okay, this is the main container. So first of all, you always have to design starting from the top parts. Okay, so you first have to design this part. So all how many containers do you think we have in the top part, based on the spaces, just based on the spaces?
The main container.
Yeah, this top section. How many do you think containers do we have inside this
One?
top section?
Three?
Three.
Three?
Three. Very good. We
Wait,
have
where?
three
One,
three
two.
containers. How do you know that? Because of the
Space.
exactly, because of the space. We have this space and we have this space that is greater than any other space between the elements. Okay. So all three of them are aligned side by side. You have to remember this part. This is really important.
Can
If
you
you
just show
see,
me the three spaces again?
yeah,
Which
sure.
one is
Let
it? From
me. Let,
YouTube to search?
so you have this space
One, okay.
and you have this space. Now these two spaces are greater than any space we have here, like this one or this one or this one or maybe this one. So these three are greater than any of the spaces we have. Okay. So that's why we have like how many divs. So you have to look at the left and right hand side of these spaces. So how many we have? So how much elements do we have now based on the spaces? Okay.
Three.
So yeah, we have this one, and then the space, and then the mid one, and then the space, and then the right one. So the first, the thing that I
We
was
have a
telling you guys,
question.
yeah,
The where it says search, that's also count as space?
this one, yeah, this
Yeah.
no, it's not going to be counted as space because this is an actual element, and we have studied about this element. What is this element, by the way? This one, we have studied it, right? We have,
Input field.
yeah, good. This is an input field. This is a single element, so it wouldn't be counted as space. Okay. Okay, so you guys have said it correctly. We have like three elements. Okay, so the thing that you need to remember is, and it's really important, whenever you see something that is aligned side by side beside each other, it is ought to have a parent. There's always a parent if you see something that is side by side. This is really important to remember. Okay, if you see something that is side by side, there is ought to have a parent. So what do you think? These three side by side, aligned side by side?
Yeah.
So what does it
Yes.
mean? It has a
Parent.
yeah, it has a parent. Let me think. Okay. So we have a parent, yeah, this main parent. So how many elements do we have in this parent? One.
3.
Yeah, good. The middle one and the right one. So we have this one, we have this second one, and we have this third one. Okay. So now we need to go into more depth. In the left hand side, in the left element, how many more containers do we have? Just this one.
2.
Exactly. Good. We have two containers. And how did you know that?
The
They're
space.
side by side.
Be-
The
We have the
space.
side with the space. Yeah, the space. They are side by side. That's why we have a parent. If something is side by side, that means that it has a parent. So we already have this parent. Yeah. So how would you know how many elements do we have based upon the space? You said it correct. Very good. Based upon the space. This space tells us that these two are separate. So we have one and we have two. Okay. So I guess that's
So
it.
that one is the 3 lines and the other one is the YouTube.
Yeah, yes. And how do
Okay.
we know that? Because of this space
The
we have
space,
between
yeah.
these two. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
So let's move towards the middle part. So how many containers do we have in the middle part?
2.
Good. Two. Why? Because of the space.
Space.
Yeah. We have this and we have this. What about the right one?
Two.
Think again.
3.
Three. Because of we have this and we have this. Okay. So we have the left one, the middle one, and the right one. There is something else here. Go into more depth. What do you think this first one? Does this have more containers as well or not?
It does.
Yeah, it does. This plus one and the heading. And
Great.
based upon the space, we know we have two containers here. So the right one and the wait, yeah. Okay. So let's move towards the next part. Yeah. So the upper part is done. So now we have this sidebar and the main body. Now tell me this: that is this sidebar and the main body, are these two aligned side by side or not? The sidebar and the main
They
container.
are.
They are aligned
Yeah.
side by side. Yeah. So what does it mean if they are aligned side by side? So what does it
They're
mean?
They have a
containers.
parent.
Has
They have
a
a
Yeah,
parent.
good.
parent.
Very good. They have a parent. If you have something that is aligned side by side, then we have a parent that is holding them together. Okay, so we have this parent. Let me give it a color because it's yeah. So now it's differentiated. So this black color again and this. Okay. So now we move towards this sidebar. Okay, so sidebar we have this hole of that's taking up whole of the space. Okay, so inside this sidebar, how many sections do you think we have? How many more containers do we have? Visualize it.
3.
Good.
2.
Three. This first
I think
one,
there's
this first one, the second one, and this third one. If you were to visualize it, you'll see it like you clearly see it. The first one, the second, and the third one. So we have the first, second, and the third. Okay. So I want you to get in more depth now. Look at this first container. What do you think we have? I'm not gonna tell you now. You have to judge yourself.
3.
This first one has three.
No, 2. 2. The home, the picture and the word home.
Yeah, good. They are. They have. We have two containers. So these
Two
two are
containers.
aligned side by side. What does it mean?
They have a parent.
Yeah,
parent.
good. They have a parent. So this one. And inside the parent, we have how many children?
Two.
2.
We have the icon, the image, and we have the text, and it's same for every other. So I'm not gonna draw it again. Okay. So now let's move towards the main body. Is this main body part of the same group or not? Is it part of the same
Same.
body? Is it or is it not?
A
All
part of what?
are these three containers part of the same group or are they different?
Different. Same group.
Same group, yeah. All of them are part of the same group. Like they are aligned. If you were to visualize it, like look like if you were to take a look, maybe like 2 or 3 seconds for 2 or 3 seconds, you're gonna see yourself that they are part of the same group. So if they are part of the same group, they ought to have a same parent. This. Okay. Okay. So what about these?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Who would be the parent?
Who would be the parent?
Yeah.
The one enclosing all of the containers is going to be the parent. We're gonna code it. When we'll code it, you'll see it yourself.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
it'll get clear when we code it.
Alright.
Okay, so how would we draw these?
In
Very
one
good.
thing.
Good. You have to draw in one container. Why is that? You said it correct, but why is that?
Because they're aligned, they're
Very
side
good.
by side.
Good. They're side by side, so we have to put them in the same container.
So does that mean they all have the same parent?
Yeah, they all have the same parent. Good. So inside
Okay.
the same parent, we have like different children. Okay. So then it's pretty simple. We have this banner. Yeah. Okay. So what about this? This is going to be a little tricky. We have to draw all of it. Okay. So first of all, tell me this: how would we, align these?
Side by side.
Good. So they're side by side. So what does it mean?
And it has a parent, one
Yeah.
whole
Good. It has a
container.
parent. So we have to draw a parent. Okay. Now inside this parent, how many containers?
Three.
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 Good. One.
We have a question.
Yeah.
What if there's like more than like three side by side? You just keep going?
Yeah, it just keeps going. You can see
Okay.
it here. Look, we have like maybe how much? Maybe I guess 10 or 12,
Yeah.
and so it just keeps on going, but still we have a pair. So what do we do
Okay.
if we have something? Maybe, for example, if we have 100 things that are going side by side, would our screen be able to accommodate all of those 100 things? It's not possible, yeah. If we have like 100 children, would it be possible to fit all of those 100 children inside the screen? It's not. So basically what we
Mm.
do is we put something like this. Like if you were to
Yeah.
click here, it's gonna move it forward, but it's something that is achieved by JavaScript. So we're not ready yet for that kind of thing at the moment, but we'll be ready inshallah.
Mm.
Okay. So this is the second and this is the third. So now I want this is really important. Okay, so this part is really important. So I want you to get in depth of this container. What do you think? How many containers we have in this one?
Is it one?
We have this one container. This one is enclosing. We have this one container. Okay. So I want you to go in more depth. Now I want you to go inside that container. How many more containers do you have inside this container?
Two.
Good. Two. And those two containers are one for the video and one for all of the information we have for this video.
But the space is not big though. You said if
But
the space is
yeah, but there is a space, although it's not big. We're getting,
hmm.
we're getting more in depth. As we get more in depth, the space is going to be reduced, but there is
Okay.
still a space. Okay.
Alright.
So let me give it a different color because we wouldn't be able to see it. So this is the video, and this is your information container. Now we're gonna move towards the information container. So what do you think?
Three.
Good, very good. We have three. But if you were to again judge based upon the spaces, then how many do we have?
One?
Two.
Sorry? It's not
Two.
one, it's not three, then we are left with
Two.
two. Good. Two. Why is that? Because this space is greater than this space. So it will be like we have this left one and then we have this right one. That's like three dots. Okay, inside this left one, how many more do we have?
Two.
Based upon the space, just based upon the space. This is going to be the different container, yeah, because of the space.
One.
And
One.
all of this is going to be the same container because this is the same group. So it'll be like, wait, let me clean it up here. So we have this image and we have this information about the video. So now inside this, how many do we have? Look at the spaces. This container inside
Four.
this. One,
Four.
four. No. Think again.
Two.
Two. Good. This, all of this is the same group. Okay, this is the same thing, and this is the same thing. So we have the heading. Okay, it's getting really congested, so I wouldn't be able to draw anything else. So I guess we should stop here now. But you get the idea, right? It's not going to be really difficult at the beginning,
Yeah.
but you get the idea, right? Okay, so these are basically the structure where your website is built upon. Now these structures, I've been saying containers and containers. Yeah, these are containers, but in the coding world, in the HTML, these are called divs. Okay, div, divs, or short for divisions. Okay, so everything we've drawn here, the boxes, these boxes in HTML are called divisions. And again, these are really important, so important that if you were not, if you didn't get these concepts, it will be really difficult for you to build a website because the website is built upon these tips. So now we're gonna move towards the coding part. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to build something really difficult. Yeah. So we have this box. We have a box inside this box, and we have this circle, and then we have again this box. Let me give it a color. No, give a different color. Okay, so we want to build this. Okay, using our HTML. So tell me, what should we do first?
Notepad.
Yeah, good. We're gonna open Notepad. Let me save this, and we'll say our topic today is divs dot html. Okay, let me open it up, split it, zoom it a bit, then generate. What is this called? The HTML and then the head and then the body. You know, it's one of the questions of the interviews. What is this called? I've been seeing this in all of my classes. Let me generate what? This is called?
The structure?
The structure, but there is a specific name for this. Starts with a B. B for ball. It's called boilerplate. Okay, it's boilerplate. Okay, inside the head, we're gonna say title.
What is the called again?
Boilerplate. Wait, let me write in the.
Boilerplate.
Yeah, boilerplate.
Okay.
Title is going to be divisions. Okay, let me close these tabs because we wouldn't be able to see what's going on with the title. Yeah, divisions. Okay, inside the body, we're going to go inside the body and we have to draw this structure. So first of all, we have to get this container. Okay, we have to draw this container. So what are these called again? In HTML, the containers are called divs. Yeah. So everything has a tag. Similarly, this div is also going to have a tag. So we're going to open the div tag and then close it, and make sure you're giving it a name. How are we going to give it a name?
Class.
Very good. Class, and let's give it a class of maybe let's say pair. Okay, save it, refresh it, but nothing's going to happen. What do you think? Why is that? We've created a div, we have given it a class, we've saved the document, we've refreshed the Chrome.
It didn't get value.
Yeah, I didn't what?
Didn't get value.
Value, like value of what? Which values do I have to give? You're right, we haven't given the values, but what values do we have to give? No, you're right about the values. We haven't given it a values, but what specific values do we have to give in order to see the div?
We have to make the container width and height.
Yeah, good. The width and the height. We have to give it width and the height in order to see it. By default, there is a block element. Okay, and the block elements are going to take up full space of the screen, but they don't have any height. Okay, so if they don't have any height, how are we going to see it? So how do we give it a height? How are we going to give it a height?
Height equals.
We can do that right directly. We can do it directly.
You have to style it.
Yeah, good. So inside the head, we're gonna say style, and we have to target that div. What's the name of that div?
Parent.
Yeah, good. The parent, and how would we target the parent?
Dot.
Very good. Dot parent, and let me give it a high width of maybe let's say 60%. Okay. What does percentage refers to here?
The percentage in the parent that takes up the parent.
Yeah, good. And who's the parent of the parent? Yeah, who's the parent of the parent?
And
Who's the parent of the parent?
the main container.
Yeah, and who's the main container of the parent? Like parent is enclosed in what?
The white screen.
Yeah, the white screen. And what is this white screen?
The body.
Yeah, good, the body. So basically 60% of the body, because the parent of the parent is the body. Okay, so we've given it a width. Let me also give it a height. You should give it the height in the the pixels, because by default body is treated as 0%. Okay, so 0% of 0% is 0%. Okay, so you're not gonna see anything if you were to give it in percentage. The height only. Okay, save it, refresh it. You'll still not see it, although everything is correct. You still not see it. Why is that? It's really simple. The answer is really simple. We've given it a width, we've given it a height, we still can't see it. But if I were to turn on my pesticide, I can see this box here.
Oh, you didn't insert anything in the div.
So what do we have to insert? Like I want to see it.
You can insert an image.
Oh, we can give it a
Background.
Okay. Save it. We have this box here. Okay, so what is a div? A div is simply a container, a box. Okay. Okay, so now we want to do this, the black part. How would we do it? We want to
Create another div.
Yeah, good. Where do we create another div? This black div. Where do we create it?
In the body.
Right
Think again.
on the top.
No.
Inside the main div.
Yeah, inside the main div. This black div is enclosed in this bigger div.
The
Okay.
parent.
Yeah, good. We have to create it inside the parent. Okay. So before we create the div, I want this red part to be in the center. How will we do that?
Margin auto.
Good. Inside the parent, we're gonna say margin auto. Okay, so let's create the black part. So you said it really good. We have to create it inside this parent, because this black one is inside this red one. So this red one is the parent. So inside the div, we're gonna do what?
Another div.
Good. We have to create another div, and let's give it a class of, let's say, child1 maybe. Okay, don't put up space here, because what would happen if I were to put space here?
Would it become separate?
Yeah,
Separate?
good. It's going to become separate. It's like if HTML is going to treat it as two classes, and number cannot be a class, so it will throw you an error. So save it, refresh it, nothing's going to happen. Why is that? Why can't we see the black part?
Because you need to add the color.
and we
But
have,
and the height and width.
yeah, good. So how do we target this black part? This one.
That child one.
Good. That child one. Okay, so what I'm going to write is it's really important. How is it important? What does the 70% mean? What does 70% refers to?
The what?
70% of the red
Parent?
Good.
As a
red one.
child?
Of the
Oh.
parent. And who's the parent of child one?
Parent.
Good. The parent of the child one is the parent. So when I said 70%, it meant 70% of 60%.
Of the 60.
So basically 70% of this red part. Okay? So here we're gonna say height and I'll say 20%. Again, what does this mean? Say 20%.
20% of the 60%?
Uh-huh. Height.
The parent?
500.
Yeah,
Oh,
good. 20% of
500.
the 500 pixels, okay?
Yeah.
So let me give it a background color of black. Save it. Refresh it. Now do we see the back? Yeah, we do. So how do we get this black part into the center?
Margin auto.
Good. Inside the child, we're gonna say margin auto. Okay. How do we create this one? The yellow part.
Another div.
Yeah, good. Where do we create this yellow div?
Same thing inside the main one.
And which one is the main one? This one?
The parent. The parent.
Yeah, good. You shouldn't create in this one because this is the child's div. So outside this, but make sure you're inside the main div. Now it's going to get really complicated here because you can see a lot of divs here. So you have to be really careful here. Okay, so inside the main div, that is this one. Outside the child div, we have to create another div.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
Instead of writing div everywhere, can't you just put like div1, div2, or
No,
would
you
it mess
can't.
everything up?
You can't do that. Why is that? Because there's nothing as div 1 or div 2 in HTML, there's only div. For example, there is h1 and h2, right? But
Yeah.
how many paragraph tags do we have in HTML?
Mm,
How many paragraph tags do we have in HTML? We only have one, yeah? And that is P.
yeah.
We can do P1 or P2 because it's built in. It's defined by HTML. The one who created the HTML, it's predefined. So we can separate them by giving it a class, but you cannot write div 1 or div 2 because there's nothing as div 1 or div 2 in HTML. Okay?
Okay.
So it's going to be really complicated here. That's why we're using Notepad. When you use VS Code, everything is going to be aligned by default. If you have a div here, it's going to be highlighted that where this div is closing. But for the Notepad, nothing's going to happen, and that is a really plus point for us as beginners because you would get you're gonna get how all of this works. Okay, so we have this second div, and we'll name it. We'll give it a class of, let's say, child 2. Okay, so how will we get this second one? We're gonna say dot child 2, and let's say width of maybe 40%. 40% of what?
Parent?
Parent?
Yeah, and who's the parent of child 2? Yeah,
Parent.
yeah, the parent. Child 2. And height is also maybe, let's say, 40%. And let's say background is going to be background. You can write background, okay? You don't have to write background color because background is a shorthand property. Background, yeah. I want this in the center.
Margin
Margin.
auto?
Where your margin auto. I want it to be round, like fully round. How do you do that? We've studied this property.
Ray, ray,
How do you make something?
Radius.
Border radius.
Yeah,
Border.
border
Oh,
radius.
I knew it was radius. I was coming to make it.
I got
It happens. It happens. Border radius, but it's not gonna turn it into a circle. It's going to turn it into maybe an egg shape.
Oval.
Yeah, it's not an exact circle, is it? Wait, let me give it some more height. So what would happen here? Now we have an ostrich egg here. I want it to have, I want it to be a perfect circle.
Can you do 50-50?
No, we can't do that. Okay,
Oh,
so what's happening here is why isn't this a perfect circle? Circle? Can you guess? Take a guess.
because the height is.
Yeah, exactly. Good. Because we have different width and height properties here. Like the height and width doesn't match. So border radius 50% only works, only is going to get you a perfect circle if the height and width are equal. If they're not equal, it's gonna make it into an oval or an ellipse. Okay. So how would we counter that? Like I don't want to change the width and the height of this child. Like I don't want to do that. So what would I do? I am going to do a new property. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this div. I'm going to cut it. Exactly, the property name is the same. The property is clip path. Okay, what does clip mean? What does clip refers to?
Mhm.
Like clipping something.
Saving it?
Clipping it.
like pinning it,
No, no,
clip it.
clipping. Like when we clip our nails, what does it mean? We're just cutting it
Cutting?
off, right?
Cut.
Yeah. So what this property is going to do? It's going to cut your div into whatever shape you want. Okay. So the property is clip path, and the value is going to be circle because we want it to be a circle, and then you have to put parentheses here. Save it. Refresh. Now this is going to be a perfect circle.
Wait, so what do you put inside the parentheses?
Sorry?
What do you put? Why'd you put the parentheses?
Because it's predefined. If you don't put
Okay.
it here, it's not going to work. Okay.
Okay.
But are you supposed to put something inside the parentheses?
You can put it like where exactly do you want to make it round, make it ellipse. But if you were to leave them as it is, it's going to make it into a perfect circle. But if you were to put something, maybe let's say 20%, it's going to round it from different angles.
Mm.
Okay. Like how much do you want to circle something? If you were to put 80%, no, there's no 80%, maybe 30, maybe 40, 50 maybe. Okay, so it's like this. Like how much do you want to cut it? So let's leave it as it is, and it's gonna cut it into a perfect circle. Okay, so is it okay? The circle one.
Yeah.
So let's do this one. How will we do this? Where do we create this thing? Come on,
The blue
you
part?
just said it right. You just told me like
Another div
yeah, another div. And where do I put it?
at the end, right below it, right below child two.
Here?
No, down
Yeah,
below.
good. Inside the main parent.
The main parent.
Yeah, good. So we're gonna say div, another div. Make sure to give it a class, otherwise everything is going to be targeted. We want to target each one separately.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah,
Div class, and div class one are the same,
div class and
and child one. Like div class is one, and child one is one too.
I didn't get your question.
Like you wrote div class equal parent
Div class
on the
equals to
first one,
parent.
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
and on the second one you wrote div class equal child one. So they're
Okay.
both one, or is that zero?
No. This is something else. This is something you can name it whatever you want.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be one or it doesn't have to be zero. You can name it whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Okay. You can put it zero here. You can put one, two, whatever you want. It doesn't have to be specific. Okay. So we have this div as child 3. So we want to target this one. So we're going to say dot child see. Yeah. So what do we want to do? We want to first give it a, how do we see this div? How do we see it? Like I've created a div, now I want to see it.
The background.
But before the background we need to have
Oh, the width and height.
The width and height.
You
Yeah.
can't see anything you don't have, width or height. Let's say for now width is going to be maybe, let's say 80%, and height is going to be, let's say maybe 20%, and background we're gonna say, let's say blue. Yeah, blue. Save it, navigate, refresh. We have this blue color. I want it in the center. What's the property?
Margin up.
Yeah, good. Margin auto. So now we have this. Our layout is ready. It's easy, right? The divs.
Yeah.
So let's make it difficult then.
No, it's hard.
Yeah. But we're not gonna make it easy. Even if it's hard, we're gonna make it more hard. Okay.
It says your class ends in 5 minutes.
Well, the time did, it's fast very quickly. Okay, let me end this class and I'm gonna send you the link again, okay?
Okay.
Can you guys hear me? How do we,
Yeah.
create this? Or to be more precise, where do I create this?
Do you have to start with div?
Where do I put the div? Where would I have to put the div in order to create this circle? Where is it placed? Like we have this, we already created this one, we have this one, we have this one ready. Yeah, all views and
Placed on top.
The background?
I have to create this circle inside what? The first one. What is this first one? We have given it
Inside.
Child one.
Yeah, yes. We have to create it inside the child one. So let's go inside the child one. Create another div. What
So
is
is this a container?
Yeah, it is a container. Yeah, div is a container. Okay. So what should we name this one? Maybe we have a child one. So child one? No, it doesn't seem logical.
Point one.
Sorry?
Can you do point one?
Sorry, what? What should I write?
If you put point one, does it do anything?
Like
Point one?
dot one. Dot one.
Like that
Dot
one?
one, like this one?
Yeah, like child.
No, you can do that. You can put special characters at the start.
Okay.
You're supposed to write anything in there?
Yeah, anything except
So like kid one?
kid one.
kid
Yeah,
one
yeah,
or
we can do that. Yeah, kid one. But make sure when you were developing a professional website, do put professional names, okay? But at the
Yeah.
moment, it's totally okay. Kid one, yeah. So we have this kid one. So how do we see this kid? Yeah, how do we see it here?
Width and height.
Yeah, good. We have to put, we don't have to do it like this. First we have to target it. So how do we target it?
Kid one. Dot kid one.
Good, dot kid one. Let's give it a width, maybe 20%. Now, what does this 20% mean?
20% of the parent.
Yeah, and who's the parent of kid one?
Child one.
Good. So 20% of child one. Okay. So I'm gonna put height of 100%. And what does 100% mean? That whatever the height of this black one is, I want it to have the height equal to that. And if I want to see it, let's give it a background. Let's say maybe white so we can see it properly. So we have this kid here. Let me give it some more width. Maybe 50% will be too much. Yeah, it's good. Okay. So how do we get it to the center?
Margin.
Very good. margin auto. And how do we make it into a circle, like a perfect circle?
Clip path.
Yeah, good. Put it that, and then
Circle.
circle, but it's not gonna do anything.
The
The
parentheses.
Just the
parentheses.
parentheses, and then I'm gonna refresh it. We have a perfect circle. But now we
Wait,
have a problem here.
the
Yeah?
star
Yeah, the star. Where do I place the star first?
in the parentheses.
Uh huh. I'm not talking about the designing at the moment. I'm talking
Oh,
about the placement. Where do I put the star?
in the middle.
Where do I put it?
You have to
Inside
use.
kid one.
Yeah, inside the kid one. The star is inside the kid. This assignment is really important. In order for you to get placement of the divs, like how do you use the divs, this assignment is really important. Okay, and as a homework, I'm gonna give you a really easy one. Okay, it will be easy. If this, if you were to get this one, it will be easy for you. So I want you to pay well, like really close attention. Okay, so what should we name this one? But make sure this is inside the kid one. What should we name this one now? Maybe let's say star one. Yeah, star one is good. So now we'll target star one, and let's say we give it a width of 100% and height of 100%, and let's say background. Maybe let's say what would suit on white. What should we give as the background to start? Gold maybe? Gold. And now we have this star.
Yellow.
You don't see the star here, right?
Mm.
What is this? Now the gold, that star one is taking up the full space of its parent. Why is that? Because we have given it a width of 100% and the height of 100%. So basically it's covering up its parent. But now the question is, how are we going to create it, give it, make it into a star? How do we do that?
Do you have to use clip path
Very
again?
good.
Clip path.
We have to use clip path. Very good. You write about this one. Clip path, and now,
Star.
yeah,
Or
that's the problem. We don't have any property as any value as star in clip path. So how are we going to do it? Like there's no clip path in, sorry, there's no star in clip path. So how do we do it? Like how we would do it using a website. It's called Clippy. Again, you have right Clippy, and this first one is going to get you your star, not just star, all of the shapes. Plus, you have your custom. You can create your custom stuff here as well. So, but for the time being, we want what? This star. Now you have all of this is going to make your div into a star. So copy it, Control C, and paste it in star. Save it, refresh it, and now we have this. Why is this star really fat? What do you think?
the width and height
Good.
of
The width and
100%.
height are too much. So maybe let's say I'm going to say 100px, and for this one also 100px. Make sure they're the same. Yeah, it's good, but it's not in the center. So what should we do?
Margin.
Good. Margin to be auto. Now we have a perfect start. Now if you were to ask about these values are basically the values where you are cutting the div from a specific points. These percentages represent the points on on this div. This percentages refer to the point, but at the moment we don't have to concern ourselves with these points. Okay, if you want any kind of shape, you can go to this Clippy website and you can get your own these shapes. Okay,
And you just copy paste it.
yeah, just copy it from this one, these, and then just paste it here. Okay,
Copy it from the bottom where it says clip path.
yeah, this property is
Okay.
going to this is going to hold your shape here. So you also can make this custom, and for the homework you are going to do this that. So that's what I'm
So
telling
when
you
if
about
I
it.
transfer this star to the clip pad, then I have to adjust the height and width.
Yeah, you have to adjust the height and width if you want to have a perfect star. Make sure you have your width and height to be equal. Okay, if you want
And
to
which
have a
one did you
perfect.
adjust? What did you adjust? I didn't see that part.
Yeah, I
For
have
your
adjusted
star.
this one. Wait, let me go back to where I was. 100% and 100%. And I don't have a perfect star here. Like it's really fat. It's spreading out, stretching out.
Yeah.
But my question is, well, the width and height is same. So why isn't it a perfect star?
Because it's taking up that space
Well,
for the
still,
star.
it has the same width and height. I've said if you want to have a perfect star, the width and height should be the same, right? These are my
Yeah.
exact words. So why
Yeah.
isn't this star, being a perfect star? It's a
Is it because
mathematical.
all the percentages?
Yeah, it has something to do with the percentages. Yeah, you're getting there. So why do you think? Why do you think it has to do something with the percentages? But what is it something that is making this star not take up exact? It's a good like a good star. We have put 100% and 100% for the star one. Percentages mean that it is taking up the height and width of its parent. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
maybe its parent doesn't have exact width and height. The kid has 40% of width, the height is 100%. So even if you were to put 100% here and 100% here, it means the 100% of its parent, and the parent doesn't
Yeah.
have the equal width and height. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why it's not making it to a perfect star. When this 100% goes to this one, it doesn't align with the height one. For example, I put 100% here. What does 100% here means? 100% of 40%.
Parent.
Yeah.
Oh, the
What
40%.
does
Yeah.
height here means? 100% of
The
100%.
100%.
So 40 and 100 doesn't align perfectly. So
So
that's
that
why.
also had to be both 100 on
Yeah,
top.
the parent also have to be the
Okay.
exact. So that's why if you want to if you don't want to change all of the above parents, so you can simply put pixels here, like 80 pixels maybe width and 80 pixels height. So it doesn't now concern the parent. It has it's independent of the parent now.
It has its own.
Yeah, it has its own width and height. Good.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay, so maybe it's not being in the perfect center. Let me give it. Okay.
Yeah.
So what about this? Now it'll get easy for you. If you've gotten this concept now about this star one, now it'll get easy for you. So what do you think? How we create this one? How do we create this one?
Another div
Yeah, where do I put the div?
below the
Yeah,
inside the other one.
the second one. What was the second one called?
Child two.
Good,
Child two.
child two. Inside the child two, we are going to create another div, and this div, give me a sensible name.
Mhm.
The first,
Star 2.
good. It should be star two. You have to keep the consistency with the names, because when your
Mm.
code gets big, and when I say big, I literally mean around 10 to 20,000 lines. Okay, so it'll be helpful for you. So I'm gonna target star two. Okay, let me give it a width of 100% and height at the height of 100%. Background of maybe let's say black. Okay, we have this here. Okay, so how do we make it into a star?
You go to the website.
Yeah, where do I get the star from?
Copy.
The clippy.
Iffy.
Okay, clippy. Click on the star and then copy this and then simply get into your div and paste it. Refresh it. Now you have a star. So maybe reduce the height a bit so we can. So why don't we see the star here? Why is it cutting up from here and here?
You have to adjust the width and height.
Yeah, we have to adjust that. But the question was, why was this star cut up from this and from here and here and here? Why is it cut up?
Does it have the same as its parents? Like,
No, but it has something to do with the parent. How did we make this this yellow one into a perfect circle?
The parent
the
has that much space.
The parent has that much space. Also, we have we cut the parent. We have cut the parent, right? So if you have cut the parent, the child is not going to be seen outside of this parent. We have if the child has maybe 100% of the width, it's not going to be shown here. Why is that? Because your parent is now it's cut up, so you can see it. Okay, can you see anything that is outside of the for example, uh, wait, how do I explain this? Okay, let me open up paint. This was my parent. Okay, this was my parent,
Mm.
and this was my child. So what's happening right here is the upper part of the child is outside the parent. But what we did with the parent was we have cut up the parent. So is it logical to see anything that is beyond that cut up space?
no.
No.
Yeah, so that's why we can't see the star outside the parent because the parent is cut up into a circle. Okay, so
And you
what's the
said cut
solution?
up, meaning clip path, right?
Yes, I meant to pass. Good, good. So how do we, correct this one? We have to correct this one by studying another concept that is positions. One of the really important concept, but we're not gonna do it right now. Inshallah, we'll discuss it in the next class. But for the time being, it's good. The star is good. Let's see, it is good. Okay, so now what? Now we want to do this. Where do I put this?
What, the star?
Inside of the star too.
Yeah, good. Inside the star too. Good. So we are going to go inside the star too. Create another div. Now can you see how many divs do we have? And this is going to confuse you a lot, but it's also going to help you a lot.
Mhm. Can we
Circle.
like highlight? Can we highlight them so we know?
You can highlight them, but how would you highlight them? Like, do we
Like
have
just write
option in
them
the
a
notepad?
different color.
Do we have option in the notepad?
Oh no, we
Well, I didn't
don't.
know about that. Well, that's new to me.
Maybe I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Okay. Circle, and maybe let's say, do we have a div named circle already? I guess we do have a, or do we not? No, no, we don't have anything named as circle. That's good. So let's target circle. We're gonna say circle. Your width is maybe 50 pixels. Your height is 50 pixels, and your background is white. What happened here?
The bottom disappeared.
Yeah, it disappeared. What do you think? Why is that? There's something wrong, yeah? And that
Yeah.
something is, what do you think?
There's something else with the circle.
We have?
The div, you didn't close it?
Yeah, we didn't close the div. Good.
Oh.
So we have put the circle to be, colored white. Why don't we see the circle? Even the circle is there. The circle is there, but we can't see it. If I were to turn on pesticide, it's still not visible, but I can assure you that the circle is there. Why do you think we can't see it? Because we have cut the parent of the circle into a star, and when you cut something, you cannot see anything outside that. Okay, so that's why we can see it. So maybe let's say maybe give it a width of 100% and the height of 100%. Now can we see it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so how do we make it into a circle, perfect circle? The
Clip
perfect
Like,
path.
Yeah, good. We've got circle. Why don't we see the circle here? Well, I can assure you that we have a circle. If you were to look closely here, can you see this round part?
Yeah.
So it looks as a superhero, like here. So why can we see the circle here? Why is that?
Is it because it's outside the parent, the other?
Yeah, it's outside the parent, so you can't see anything outside the parent. Also, we have given the height and width of the circle to be 100%, so that's why it's taking up the full space of the parent. So maybe let's say if I were to give 50%, yeah, can you see the half circle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do we get this right, like dead in the center? We can get it like dead in the center. In fact, we can get it to wherever position we want, but again we have to study another topic. That is for the tomorrow's class, inshallah, but we're not going to do it today. But you can see that we have a circle here, okay?
Wait, can't you use margin auto?
We can use margin because, for example, if I were to say, yeah, we can use margin auto, it's going to get it to the center on the left and right side, but it's not going to, align it on the,
Bring it down.
yeah,
But
it's not.
if we wanted a perfect circle, couldn't we just use border radius?
If we were to use border radius, who's going to tell me what would happen if I were to use border radius? We did it, and I've already, I discussed something about border radius. Border radius only works when? Can you guys tell me? When does border radius works? When you have the width and the height exactly the same.
The same.
Yeah. Border radius is going to make
Oh.
your circle, make your div into an ellipse if you don't have the height and width equal. Okay? So the clip path on the other hand doesn't concern your width and height. It's gonna make it into a circle no matter what. Okay, border radius only works if you have the width and the height to be equal. Okay, so that's what we can use border radius.
Okay, got it.
Okay, great. Okay, and for the last part, now we have this last part. How do we create this?
Another div.
Yeah, good. Another day inside what?
The last child.
Good. The last child is child
3.
Good. So inside the child key, we're gonna create another div. We're gonna say that's a rect. Very short for rectangle.
We have a question.
Yeah.
So you know how we have 3 spaces, like 3 childs.
Okay.
So obviously, like YouTube has multiple childs, right?
Yeah.
Would it just continue?
Yeah. It will just continue. For the homework, I'm gonna
Okay.
give you. You're gonna have a lot of childs for the divs.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
let's say we have rect, and we'll say width. Maybe let's say 60%. 60% of what? It's blue parent. And let's say height to be 100%. Yeah, that's good. And let's say background to be, let's say, black. Okay, how do you get this into the center? Again, same old story. Margin out. So now we have our layout ready. So is it easy, the divs one? Because it has,
Yeah.
it's got to be easy, because if you don't get it, you have to tell me right away, because it's really important. Tomorrow or
Yeah, it's
maybe,
understandable. You just really need to think to do each step.
yeah, good. It's understandable, but
Yeah.
that's a very good point. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for the homework, let me create something, and if you don't get it, you can ask me here. And yeah. Okay. So for the homework, we have a parent, and inside the parent you have a child, and inside the child you have a hexagon. Is it yeah, it's hexagon. And inside the hexagon you have a circle, and inside the circle you have a star, and inside the star you have a circle.
You said the homework was gonna be easy.
Yeah, it's easy. Isn't it easy? It's easy.
Okay.
Okay, so then you have this right arrow that is aligned on the left side, sorry, on the right side, and then you have the left arrow that is going to be a line on the left side, and inside the arrows you're gonna have a circle that's right in the middle, and inside those circles you're gonna have a star. Yeah, that's it. Look how easy it is. Yeah, that's it. Okay,
Okay.
any questions?
No.
Nope.
You have to complete this. Okay, it's mandatory that you complete this before the next class,
Okay.
because the next topic is going to be based upon whatever we studied today.
Okay.
Okay,
So we're gonna do all the coding for this?
yeah, you have to do everything. Like, you have to build it using the HTML. Okay, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
share this picture in this group as well. So if you have any more questions, you can ask right away. If you don't, we can end the class. Okay, any questions?
No.
No.
Okay,
That's
great.
good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Allah Hafiz.
Perfect.
Not this.
Allah Hafiz.
Yeah.